We are live in the KRFC studios. This is Vincent, your host for the Rhythms of Youth show. What an exciting weekend we just had here in downtown Fort Collins with the New West Fest and Bohemian Nights. Just a lot of terrific local music happening out there. You are listening to KRFC Fort Collins. It is 7 o'clock, and what wonderfully full studio that we have after this weekend, where Bella Betts, who was on the show last week, did a terrific set. Blade Yarder did a wonderful set. Got to see Jim Wish and the Little Kids Rock organization, who are going to be connected to the Poudre School District this upcoming year. Really excited about that. A lot of free instruments going out to the youth, integrated with the school curriculum. And we got to see Jaden Carlson as well, and she'll be on the show October 15th prior to playing the Aggie Theater in town here. And today we have, really interesting, we have two members of Lonesome Traveler. We have Chad Fisher and Evan Neal, who are going to be providing some backup music to three extremely talented youth who are going into third grade this year over at Laurel Elementary. Grace Cush, Sammy Davison, and Ben Koenig are all here, and they're going to be playing for us in a little bit here. And prior to that, I had the pleasure of visiting Matthew Liu and his family, where he is studying classical piano. And we did a recording out at his home, and we're going to play that for you. And we're going to actually, before that, we're going to introduce Matthew. Hello, Matthew.
Hello.
Hey, it's terrific to have you here. It was really great to hear you playing this song that we're going to hear in a moment, which we recorded and will play. Now, you are 12 years of age.
Yes.
And what school are you going to?
Kennard Middle School.
You'll be over at Kennard Middle School. Tell me the name of your incredible teacher.
My teacher is currently Professor Lei Weng from University of Northern Colorado.
So it was wonderful. You all invited me over to the Griffin Concert Hall, and it was wonderful because you walk in and you see this grand piano Steinway up on stage, and what would be better than having a front row seat? Being on stage. There were about 20 chairs there, and just being that close to this gentleman who I understand has played Carnegie Hall, and just fantastic sounds coming from him, and it must be really great to have him as a teacher.
Yeah. Thanks.
So, Matthew, we're going to play this song now. Tell us the exact name of this song.
The song's name is Fantasy Impromptu in C-sharp minor, and its composer is Chopin.
This is sung by Matthew Liu. This is the Rhythms of Youth show. Wow. Matthew, nice job, buddy.
Thanks.
That's you're 12 years of age. That's quite remarkable. We're going to keep playing your songs, I think, each week. Get some more recordings from you, and that's the song we're hearing from you today. So thank you very much for being here. You're going to get to hang out and listen to some wonderful music here. So hello, Chad and everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
This is really unique. Now, for those that are not familiar with Mr. Chad Fisher, you are doing a number of things. You are a member of Lonesome Traveler, a terrific local band here, and Evan Neal is with us as well. Hello, Evan.
Hi there.
And Evan's got a terrific string bass. And Chad, since we're touching on your band, who are the other gentlemen in your band, or the other members, actually, because your wife is in the band?
My wife is not in the band.
Oh, what was I thinking?
Well, she kind of helped form the band.
That's what I was
thinking. It was
thinking.
for our wedding.
Yes.
And she should get all the credit for that.
So it was good that I mentioned her. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it's important.
Yes, it is.
And hello, Olivia, by the way, if you're out there. Yeah, the band started 5 years ago, or 7 years ago, on our anniversary for our wedding, and the members are Jody Boyce, Evan Neal, Dustin Scott, and Rick Scott, and myself.
That's great. That's really cool. And I know people can just look for Lonesome Traveler. I know you've got some places you're playing here, and we actually have a cool, I think, flyer of you on the wall here. Now, Laurel Elementary is a very unique elementary school in that they got you. Look at that.
That's
what else do we need to
unique.
say? I think that says it all. Now, this is the 5th year for this this camp, or program rather, that you're involved with. Tell us about that.
Yes. It's a grant-funded program for violin and mandolin. When I started, excuse me, we started the mandolin as well, and started with 4th graders and 5th graders. And this year we actually took it down to 2nd graders. So Grace and Sammy are the first 2nd grade mandolin students, and then 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th can do mandolin. And then we have kindergarten through 5th grade for doing the violin, which is violin and fiddle. So we do the classical Suzuki track, and then we also have the fiddle track. So they're getting a few different genres in there.
Yeah, it makes it a little more dynamic, you know?
Definitely.
So, I mean, there can't be many schools, even in the country, that have this quality of program. Would you say?
I would think so, but, I'm biased, obviously. So,
Yeah. And that's a great young age to get them going with the music here.
yes, I feel very fortunate to be there with them, and they start, like Sammy and, everyone started in kindergarten. Grace actually started piano in kindergarten. Is that right? And she's also a great pianist as well. So, Yep, and we, K through 5, we have little fiddles that are 16th size, so if you're not too big, you can play one of those, and if you're a larger kid, you can get all the way up to the full size.
What is the smallest size?
16th.
16th?
Mm-hmm.
That's, how adorable is that?
It's cute.
Yeah,
It's
that's very adorable.
pretty funny when I play it, so.
That'll make a good album shot, actually, make you look like you're about 12 feet tall.
Right, that's what I need.
Which
right?
you're about half that, actually. So we have some very confident youth in here, and Sammy and Ben I've known for a while, and Grace Cush is with us, and she, hi Grace, we're going to have you turn around there, and
Hello.
nice to have you with us here.
Thanks. And I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, I think that's really remarkable, and I'm sure that the three of you may have been very confident youth prior to getting into music, but wouldn't you say that there's some added element with your, just playing an instrument like you're playing? That's got to be pretty cool, make you confident and stuff.
Yeah, it is pretty cool being able to play 2 instruments, because I just think it's really cool and I like to do it.
Now you actually, Grace, first started playing piano first. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
At the age 4, I started playing piano.
That's great. Do you have any memory of being 4 years old, sitting down on the piano on your mama's lap?
Not really.
Because that was a long time ago, right? When you were 4, you're a lot older than 4 now.
Yeah.
Now you have a couple songs, 2 or 3 songs.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to play for us.
Mm-hmm.
We could go into the first song.
Why don't we?
Kind of set that up and tell us what we're going to hear. And you have this wonderful mandolin that you're holding right there. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm glad to be playing it. And the first song that I'll be playing is Little Liza Jane.
That just sounds so great. Nice job, Grace.
Thanks.
This is really fun. We have two of the members of Lonesome Traveler, one of them being your teacher over at Laurel with your instrumentation.
Yep.
That's pretty fun having them back you up, huh?
Yep.
Now, we're speaking with Grace Cush, who is going into third grade. Did I pronounce your last name Cush? Did I get that right?
Yes.
I beg your pardon?
You did pronounce it right.
You're going into third grade along with your pals Sammy and Ben over at Laurel Elementary School. Chad, tell us a little bit more about working with these youth such as Grace and what that's been like for you.
It's hard to believe that I get paid for it. It's awesome. They get to skip recess once a week to be involved to get their lessons. So they have a group lesson once a week, and there's a lot of kids that we teach there, and every one of them is awesome. These three kids are one of a few that actually just can't get enough, and they just want to keep playing and playing and playing. And sometimes you'll go to pick them up for their day, and they'll say, "Can I go again today? And can I learn another song? Or what else? What song's next?" And all that stuff. So they really motivated, and you just really love the music genuinely. And so I just walk into the school and I get a smile on my face right away by getting greeted by somebody half my size.
Mm-hmm.
That's
hugs
great.
my leg.
It really. So, Grace, you practice a bit outside of school as well, I take it, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. So you are with the mandolin and the piano. Do you kind of spend equal time on both? Are you still playing piano?
Yeah, I'm still playing piano, and yes, usually I play for 15 or 20 minutes a day on both of them, so.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's really nice, and it's got to be nice to have a piano at the house so you can just kind of play anytime you want. Or
yeah.
If it's midnight, you want to wake up your parents. No, you would never do something like that. So what has it been like with the instrument like a mandolin? I have to be honest with you. I think that, as of like a year ago, I really didn't even know what a mandolin was, and it's most definitely one of my favorite instruments right now. There's just something about it. Was there something about it that really attracted you to playing it?
Well, I really wanted to start on violin, and it interests me because it has the same stringing and picking. So I just thought that it would be really cool to play an instrument like a violin.
Yeah. Yeah, you just kind of hold it differently, and you don't hold a bow.
Yeah.
And it's got double strings. Now, do you find that does it get a little bit challenging, for example, since it has the double strings? What's that like?
Actually, well, sometimes it's like that where you by accidentally hit two strings at the same time, but usually if you're used to it, it isn't really a problem.
Mm-hmm. And tuning it, is tuning it get tricky? Because doesn't each string have its own knob to tune it?
Yeah, it is pretty tricky because you have to try to tune one, even though then get the other one tuned, but then you have to try to, if it untunes the first one, then you have to do it again, so.
Like a lesson in patience there, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Although if you can keep that in tune, you can keep anything in tune, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we are having a wonderful time here. We earlier heard from Matthew Liu playing a wonderful piano piece of Chopin's, and we are currently here with Grace, Sammy, and Ben, all going into third grade at Laurel Elementary. We are joined by Chad Fisher, their teacher over at Laurel, along with Evan Neal, and it's wonderful having a string bass in here. This is actually the first time. Is this the first time? No, Chad, when you were here prior, we didn't have a string bass in here, did we?
No, we didn't.
This is the first time I've ever mic'd a string bass. And Evan is actually being extremely helpful because it's a new experience for me. So it's, yeah.
Great.
And we don't have a mic really close to Evan, but Evan was extremely helpful trying to get the proper sound going, and it's just a great instrument. So we're going to hear another song. You are listening to the Rhythms of Youth show. Vincent, your host here on KRFC 88.9 FM. You are going to be hearing another song from Grace Cush, backed up by Evan Neal and Chad Fisher. What are we going to hear this time?
We're going to hear Devil's Dream.
That was so awesome. That was awesome, Grace. Nice job.
Thanks.
Do you have a third song you're doing today?
Yes, I do.
You do? Okay. No, that's wonderful. Because I know there are 2 to 3 songs from each of you, and we didn't specifically ask. So 3 songs by each? Okay, awesome. So this is really good. This is wonderful music that we're hearing here, Chad.
Thank you.
You, how many students over at Laurel are you with now with this program?
Last year we ended with 172, I think was the final count.
72 students.
Yep. And this year, 172. Yep.
172.
Yes.
That's a lot of budding musicians getting some wonderful training from you.
Thanks. Yes, there's a lot of musicians. It's cool to walk around and see all the, like when you show up in the morning, you see all these cases. Everyone's walking to school with their violin case, their mandolin case, or whatever. So it's awesome. Yep.
Now, this program itself, you've been teaching this program for, I think this is your 5th year you mentioned coming up. The program itself, about 9 years?
Yes. The music teacher started it with about 5 kids, kind of just to kind of subsidize or kind of pick up where the program, where the music teacher was. She was having one of her days cut, so she just kind of decided to implement it with a little more music with the violin. So it just kind of let one thing led to another, and before you know it, we have 170 kids.
So my math could be off here, but I'm saying that's one heck of a percentage jump in 9 years. That's that's you, young man. That's really great. That's really fun.
Thanks.
Now, what I do want to focus on for a moment is the grant. There's a certain organization that has been extremely generous toward your school.
Thanks for asking. Yes, the Ceramus Foundation has been funding it since I've been there, and for a number of years.
I'm sorry, say
the Ceramus Foundation?
Ceramus Foundation.
Yep. And they are very, very supportive of what we do, and we couldn't do without them. Also, we have support from PTO. Colorado Case Company has also donated some straps and cases to our cause. A lot of just Laurel families have donated. Each year we do a concert at Avogadro's. They always let us do that free of charge, and we raise money for the program as well. So there's really, it's coming from all different avenues. Ceramus being, taking the big chunk, but luckily we've got a lot of people that support us, so we're very lucky. And we also last year started a website that Jill, Grace's mom, kind of put together for us to kind of help the kids at home. What I was finding from the parents was that, there wasn't enough instruction. They would go home and they would say, what was my child working on at school? And, I can only talk to so many people at once. So they can log onto the website and kind of see what their lessons look like. And then if they forgot some of it at school, they can just kind of check that out and look at the tablature and watch a video of me playing the music. So
That's perfect. Wow.
So that's kind of new that I'd like to mention as well.
Yeah. So, Grace, what's it been like having these classes and working with Chad?
Well, I say that it's been very, very fun and cool to have music lessons from Chad Fisher because he's in a band, and it's really cool.
That's a really good point, because when you're being trained by somebody that actually is out there in front of the crowds, and that's something to look forward to, and you've been getting those opportunities, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Very nice, Grace. Cool. We have another song that we're going to hear from you.
Yes, that will be Cripple Creek.
Bravo. Very nice, Grace. That's really awesome. Nice playing today.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. And you're going to actually, you and along with Sammy and Ben are going to be over the Channel 10 studios. This Wednesday we're going to do a recording over there as well.
Yep.
And you've been over there before.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like getting some, it's like not the first time you've been in a television studio, huh?
Yeah, and it's really cool being in a television studio, especially because you're on TV, and it's really cool to be on TV.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. And for folks listening to this show, they can actually, if they're outside of the listening area, they can go on the website, which is krfcfm.org, and they can stream the show. So you could be in Italy right now, and you could be listening to the show, or anywhere, really.
Cool.
So really nice job, Grace. Thank you for the songs today.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to segue into one of the other youth musicians. Is that correct? Is that what we're going to do?
Yes, Sammy.
Sammy's going to play. So nice job, Grace. That's terrific. You are listening to the Rhythms of Youth show. This is Vincent, your host in the studio live. And it's just what an exciting show we're having. And it's fun. We had Bella Betts on last week. And Bella is from Boulder. She's 11. And pardon me, and she was playing kind of a similar style of music with a mandolin, and there's something about the mandolin, Chad.
I saw Bella down in Lyons a few weeks ago, and she's amazing. She's a great mandolin player.
Evan was mentioning that Bella played in between the artists that were on the bill. Is that I think that's what Evan had said.
Hey, Rocky guys, it's definitely possible. I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, really fun.
Yep.
Very, and I think that's what playing music can really do for youth, is it gives them such a sense of confidence.
Oh, it really does. They don't get nervous. We're over here sweating bullets, and they're just no big deal. So something to be learned from these kids, that's for sure.
So I'm just going to throw out a random question. What is the largest crowd you've played in front of, Chad?
With the kids, or
like just any time ever?
Like 3,000 or 4,000 probably in Prescott, Arizona. Yeah.
That's got to be really something.
And I got I remember I got my sunscreen in my eye, and I was crying, and I couldn't see, and I was like...
Oh, playing the fiddle.
Yep. I mean, I looked funny anyway, but then they were like, what's wrong with that guy?
He's so emotional when he plays.
Right. I just really was, loving what I was doing, I guess. Or not.
Hello there, Sammy.
Hello.
Sammy, you are such a cool kid. Tell everybody the story of when I first met you, Sammy.
Well, it's a pretty interesting story. Well, I was at the farmer's market playing my instruments, and this guy that was kind of in like a one-man band, he came over with his guitar and harmonica, and he asked if I wanted to play with him or some. And so when I was done playing, I went over there, and he had like this huge drum set all set up, and he was pretty good. And then he told us that he was going to be playing at one of the festivals, the Stanford Living Fair, and he asked me if I wanted to come and play with him. And so me and Ben actually were went there together, and we were carrying our instruments to go play with him. And Vincent set up like this tent that had the KRFC and stuff, and so he stopped us and asked us if we wanted to play a song for him. And so me and Ben broke out our instruments and we played songs. And he asked if we wanted to be on the radio, and so we said sure, that'd be great. And we never would have came here if it wasn't for that fair.
Very well spoken, Sammy. That's awesome. That's really cool. And I have to mention too, you mentioned at the fair that you were doing some playing with your fiddle case open, and people were like putting money in there.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, the Sustainable Living Fair was coming up in September. That's a really. Are you going to go back to the Sustainable Living Fair this? I'll bet you are with your fiddle, huh?
Definitely, and hopefully we can take Ben with us.
Absolutely, yeah. And Grace, have you all out there? That would be really fun. Really nice, yeah. Sammy.
Thanks.
So now you play mandolin and fiddle.
Yes.
Which one did you start playing first?
The violin.
Oh, the violin. Oh, okay. I know somebody that can play the violin and the fiddle at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my little silly joke. So, today, right now, you're holding the mandolin. And
yep.
Now, were both of the instruments that you got into playing through Chad's class?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember the first time that you went there and were checking out the instruments? What that was like?
Well, yeah. We were, we went to a music store, and I was 4 years old, and I liked the musics and the sounds, and so well, friends, they go to a festival called Walkie Grass, and they told us about it, and we really wanted to go, and so we went one year, and we just all fell in love with it, and ever since then I've been playing the fiddle and mandolin.
That's so awesome. We are having a fantastic time. We're talking right now to Sammy Davison, who will be going to 3rd grade at Laurel Elementary and part of the program with Chad Fisher over there. What are we going to hear first from you, Sammy?
Clinch Mountain Backstep.
Wow.
Thanks.
That is so great. Nice job, Sammy. That was really fun.
Thank you.
Chad, I have to... Yes. Is there something?
Oh, I had a story about that song.
Please do.
It was written by Ralph Stanley.
Ralph Stanley,
which is a banjo player. And we actually were down at Rocky Grass, and about half a dozen of us were down there, and so we decided to jam at the kind of the food court area. And then so we played Clinch Mountain and various other songs, and then we went to go watch the next act, which was Ralph Stanley, and guess what he played? Played Clinch Mountain Backstep.
Oh my goodness. You all got to see that live by the real deal.
By the real deal, yep.
You know, this would actually... Yeah, go ahead.
I want to say something
Please.
really quick, too.
I'll take your time.
How I learned that song was one of our friends that my dad has been good friends with for like a while now. He plays the banjo and he's actually quite good at it. And he gave and I wanted to learn some of his songs that I could play on the mandolin or violin. And one of the songs was Clinch Mountain Backstep and Foggy Mountain Breakdown and stuff like that. Like more of banjo tunes, but I could learn them on my mandolin. And so Mr. Fisher picked Clinch Mountain Backstep because he thought that'd be the easiest one to start with. And so that's basically how I learned it.
Not sure where that's coming from, actually. I got this turned on. So that's terrific, Sammy. That's really, really great. This is a perfect time to talk a little bit more about Rocky Grass, because that's a really very prominent national and internationally known event here in our backyard.
Right in our backyard, yeah.
And my friend's name is named John Wood.
Great guy.
Yes.
Yeah, when I first started teaching Sammy, I had my mandolin sitting in the classroom, and she's like, I know what that is. That's a mandolin. I see those at Rocky Grass. And I told her, it's tuned like the violin, whatever. And then I evidently forgot that I told her that, and I told her again a week later or whatever, and she goes, Mr. Fisher, you already told me that. Which I probably get a lot of, repeated stuff.
So the youth are just really like sponges, and you're putting these instruments in their hands, and I think a lot of folks, when they look at a mandolin, it might be a little bit intimidating because it is double-stringed.
Right.
But they're just, listening to Grace and, Sammy play, and we'll be hearing Ben here in a little bit, it's kind of astonishing in a way. These young youth are going into third grade. They're not even in third grade yet.
Mm-hmm.
They're going into third grade in a few weeks.
I've got a deal worked out with them where once they can show me something, which they probably already could actually, they have to come back when they're older and give me lessons. So let me make sure they're going to do that.
That's right. All right. Well, I've always said that getting youth involved in music is like the coolest thing you can do. And you have 172 youth over at Laurel that you are impacting with this program. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
We are going to get set up here, and a little bit of the squeaking mics. I apologize about that. I'm not sure we're doing good. We're doing good.
It's part of acoustic music.
Okay, so wonderful. We're going to introduce this song.
I'm going to be playing Cincinnati Hornpipe.
That was awesome. Nice job, Sammy.
Thank you.
That was terrific. That was really, really terrific. How now you practice obviously in the class that you have each week with Mr. Fisher. Now you also do a little bit of practicing outside of school, I'll bet.
Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure that all three of us also take private lessons from Mr. Fisher.
Uh-huh.
And so that's also a good time.
Absolutely. Yeah, you do that every week?
Yeah.
You're coming along, you know? You just sounded fantastic.
Thank you.
Hey, Sammy, I wanted to, you have something fun that you do outside of music.
Yes.
Now, if you could play mandolin while you do this, I'd be beyond impressed. But you do some BMX racing.
Yes.
When did you first get into that?
When I was about, I don't know.
Sorry about the
pretty
squeaks,
young.
folks. Let me do something here. See if that helps. Go, can you repeat that, please?
I don't really know. I think I was pretty young.
Yeah. I don't know where that's coming from. Sorry, I've got the other mics turned off, so... Yeah, sorry about that. I'm not quite sure. Let me turn down the vocal here a little bit. Sorry, I never go for squeaks.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're doing awesome, Sammy. Tell us a little bit more about the BMX.
Well, like I said, I started when I was pretty young, and my dad used to race when he was a kid, and he had a old school Diamondback, and this is actually a pretty funny story. We went to...
Let's pause for just a second. Jill has an idea about the squeaking sound. We're going to try something here. So Sammy can just chat. Sammy won't be able to hear me. We're going to do something with the headphones here. See how that helps. A lot of magnetic things going on in here, Chad. Isn't it funny? You know, when you get all of the headphones, you get the microphones, and you get all these wires going. There's a lot going on there.
There is.
And usually it's rather seamless.
No, not always.
It's kind of the beauty of the live show,
right?
You know.
Yeah, we're proving that it's live.
We're proving that it's live.
That's why you're doing this. Yep, good job. I remember we talked about that.
Not using that anti-squeak software, which I heavily rely on when I'm setting up the show. This is wonderful. So I think if Sammy can tell us more about this BMX, we're set.
Well, like I said, we went back to my grandma's house, and me and her were looking for something in the shed, and we found my dad's old Diamondback, and my dad came out, and as soon as he saw the something like pie sticker on it, he's like, "You tried to sell my bike!" and so we took it out, and I was able to ride it. We cleaned it up a little bit, and I really liked it being on just that particular kind of bike, and so I raced that for a while, but it was too big, and some people were like, "Oh, it's so cool, she's racing that," and other people were like, "Oh, that shouldn't be raced, and so well, when we were going to the track, and my dad since the bike wouldn't fit in the trunk, we usually kept the trunk open, kind of, but had like this, I don't know, thing that would make sure that the bike wouldn't fall out. And so we were driving, and the trunk was closed, and I'm like, "Dad, where's my bike?" And he's like, "Do you see it anywhere?" And I'm like, "No." And he's like, "Well, that's because we're getting you a new one." And so he got me a new bike.
Wow, that's exciting.
I got a whole lot more into BMX, and I loved it ever since. And now I have a brand new bike, and it's better than Dad's bike and my other bike. So pretty much it's the best bike I've ever had.
That's a wonderful story.
Thanks.
Absolutely. You're listening to Sammy Davis, and Sammy is going into 3rd grade at Laurel Elementary this upcoming year, along with Ben Koenig, who we'll be hearing shortly. And previously we heard some great music from Grace Kush, and the beginning of the show, of course, Matthew Liu with his Chopin piece. We are listening to Rhythms of Youth, KRFC 88.9 FM, and we have about 15 minutes left. We're hearing another song coming up from Sammy, is that
One more
correct?
from Sammy, and then we have 3 from Ben here.
This is terrific.
Okay, so the next song I'm going to be playing is called Angelina Baker.
Bravo, Sammy. Awesome job, Sammy.
Thank you.
We are going to go over to Mr. Ben Koenig. Ben is also one of Chad's students over at Laurel. And, yeah, Chad, I've known Sammy and Ben for a little over, what has it been, a little over a year now, huh? What do you say?
Time flies, huh?
Time flies. Yeah.
A little bit.
Ben just did a fiddle camp this summer, which was put on by Magnolia Music and Vi Wickham, Cody Saddlemeyer, and Cynthia Vaughn, which runs the studio. And the last 2 years, they've donated scholarships to Laurel for the students. So this year, actually, I think we had five Laurel kiddos over there doing the fiddle camp. So he's going to play a couple songs from that. He's also going to play a couple songs another song that he's learned at school as well.
So this is Ben Koenig on the Rhythms of Youth show. Okay, we're just repositioning here a little bit, and just want to let you know. And I'm really glad that you mentioned Magnolia Studios with Cynthia Vaughn. Well, I got to visit
awesome.
over there. What a wonderful facility over there. It's really, really fun.
Definitely.
Place.
Yeah, I really appreciate all their support, and it's cool to see the kids come back from camp and just be all excited about what they've learned and show me what they've learned and show me the new tunes that they've been working on. So they're awesome over there. So
Great.
Definitely appreciate the work they're doing.
And we're here with Ben. Take it away, young man.
I'm going to play Blackberry Blossom. 1, 2, ready, go.
That was really well done. Nice job, Ben.
Thanks.
That was really, really, really fun. Now, I remember at the fiddle camp, I remember you all played this song. And now, weren't you walking in a big circle when this song was done?
No, that was Whiskey Before Breakfast I'm going to do at the end.
Whiskey Before Breakfast. Teaching kids songs, whiskey before... No, I'm kidding.
We used to call it Kool-Aid before
Kool-Aid
breakfast.
before breakfast.
It's equally as bad, but something,
Yeah,
the
really.
equivalent.
So, Ben, what is that like when you are having to walk and play at the same time? Does that really change things?
Well, it gets a tiny bit harder, but just you got to focus on your playing because, I've probably been walking a long time before I've even started to playing the violin. So it's pretty easy just walking around.
That is one of the funniest things I've ever heard in my life. That is so classic. That is so funny. Wow. Speaking of classic, we'll talk a little bit more about the classical element after this next song. You've got a couple more songs for us, Ben. This is awesome. This is Ben Koenig, and tell us what we're gonna hear this time.
Next, you're going to hear Liberty. 1, 2, ready, go.
Way to go, Ben. Nice job, buddy.
Thanks.
Hey, I want to actually go back one more time to the fiddle camp because I had the pleasure of meeting the two teachers out there, Vi the Fiddler Wickham, and Cody Stadelmeyer. Mm-hmm. Pretty amazing people.
They're awesome. Yeah, definitely. Great fiddlers, great people. Definitely lucky to have them in our community.
And Vi actually has a fiddle tune a day, which I think is really neat idea. Every day on his site, which I don't have in front of me. Vi the Fiddler Wickham, Wickam is his last name. And he's doing a different fiddle tune, having it videoed each day, which I think is really fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's really fun.
It's awesome, yeah. I remember when he kicked it off, I was like, wow, that's ambitious, and he's totally pulling it off. Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
It's awesome. So, Ben, you are studying classical violin as well.
Yes.
And you actually began those at the same time? How long ago was that?
That was in kindergarten about maybe 2-3 years ago.
So what would you say are some of the differences when you're playing classical music as opposed to playing fiddle music?
Well, fiddle music, it's more about like...
Just a little bit closer, please, to the mic. Awesome.
Fiddle music is a little bit more about just having fun and playing around. And Suzuki is very, they want you to play the right notes, and it really sounds nice when you actually do it.
That's really funny. And of course, with the fiddle music, you're definitely hitting those right notes, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
That's wonderful to know. That's really great. So, now what is that fiddle that you're holding in terms of the size? There are a few ones.
It is a half size.
Is it a half size one? Half size fiddle. Really nice. Wonderful, Ben. Well, this has really been a thrill hearing all of you. We're going to hear another song from you. And now, Chad, afterward, we had talked originally about was there...
You know what, we should do this, and if there's time, why don't we all play a song together?
I love it.
All right.
This is Ben Koenig on the Rhythms of Youth show. What is the next song, Ben?
Whiskey Before Breakfast.
Don't try this at home.
1, 2, ready.
Nice job, Ben.
Thank you.
Sounded terrific. Really, really terrific. Ben Koenig, Sammy Davison, and Grace Kush have all been guests here on the Rhythms of Youth show with some wonderful sounds through the fiddle and mandolin. And Chad Fisher, of course, over at Laurel Elementary School with this wonderful program over at the school. We've also been joined by Evan Neal. So we have about 4 minutes left. Did you want to do one song in that time? Would you like to do a couple? How do you want to work that?
Let's do one and see where we're at.
That sounds true.
One other thing.
Please.
Thing about being a teacher is that you got to correct people. Sorry, but I called Ben Koenig for, I think, a year before someone told me it's Ben Koenig.
Koenig.
So,
okay. Koenig.
Just to get nitpicky. Just to
no, I
show
appreciate that.
Insight to my personality.
I did ask someone before the show and they said Koenig, so I'm redeeming myself here. But Koenig, that's good to know.
So we're gonna do Boil the Cabbage, which is the first fiddle tune they all kind of learned together, and it's one of the oldest tunes, fiddle tunes out there as far as the hoedown goes.
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
This is a very, very popular song. There's a million versions of it, but this is the one that we do. Are you guys ready?
What a fun song that is. That's a classic. So we have 2 minutes. What would you like to do with that 2 minutes?
Let's do Old Joe Clark. But before we wrap it up, I'd like to say thanks to you and everyone else at KRFC for having us in here.
Thank you, Chad.
Thanks to Evan, Neal for coming in and playing with us.
Absolutely.
All the parents, you're awesome. And everyone that supports us.
And tell me one more time the name of the foundation that has helped with the funding of your Laurel program.
The Ceramus Foundation?
Ceramus Foundation.
Yep.
Thanks to them as well.
Definitely. Thank you to them. Old Joe Clark.
Very, very, very nice. What a thrill to have Grace Cush, Sammy Davison, and Ben Koenig, all going into 3rd grade at Laurel Elementary School. And very special thanks as well to Evan Neal and Chad Fisher, Lonesome Traveler, the band these gentlemen are in, and of course Mr. Chad Fisher over at Laurel Elementary. And also want to thank Matthew Liu for the wonderful piano piece we heard earlier, and we're going to be throughout the upcoming weeks playing more piano pieces from Matthew. Andy B. and Turn the Tables is coming up next. You are listening to KRFC Fort Collins. Thank you very much for listening.